Robert Reich is literally one of my least favorite people in the world. I'm going to do a video series debunking his 10 biggest myths about our economy. I tried to watch this video. I got about 10, 11 seconds into it, and I couldn't even get to the first myth because he starts the whole thing out with a big fat lie. Now, by the way, if you like this kind of content, please subscribe to my channel because I'm a tiny little creator who's trying to grow, but help me out. Anyway, I get about 10, 11 seconds into this video, and I just can't take it. So here we go with the first lie before he actually gets to his other 10 lies. This is a guy who's trying to put himself out there as an economist and an educator, and he's just straight up misleading you.
Donald Trump is not the cause of the crisis we find ourselves in. He's a consequence. The last 5 decades have been marked by an explosion in wealth inequality.
That is a lie. It's just a flat out lie. First, an explosion means a big movement, something big, right? Okay, let's be clear here. There has been growth in wealth inequality. As a matter of fact, in 1970, the bottom 50% of income earners held about 50%, about 4% of the nation's wealth in 1970. Today, that same group of people holds about 2.5 to 3% of the nation's wealth. That same demographic. It's not the same people because people move through income demographics. But anyway, that group of people today holds about 2.5 to 3%. That is a 1.5 to 1% reduction in their share of the overall wealth. Not exactly an explosion, but that only tells part of the story, which is the whole purpose of this thing. In 1970, the nation's total wealth was about $10 trillion. So 4% of that money represented about $400 billion. Today, the nation's wealth represents somewhere in the vicinity of $140 trillion, which means that anywhere from 2.5 to 3% represents somewhere in the 3.5 to 4 trillion dollars. That is 10 times the amount of money held by the bottom 50% of earners that was held in 1970. 10 times. The cost of living has increased about 6 times. Even adjusting for inflation and population growth, the bottom 50% are wealthier today than they were in the 1970s. Here's what they don't want you to understand. Wealth is not a fixed thing that gets moved. Okay, the pie gets bigger. So while their percentage of this pie is a little bit smaller than their percentage used to be, the amount of actual wealth is significantly larger, 10 times larger, because they're sharing a slightly smaller percentage of a significantly bigger pie. Why don't they tell you the whole story here? What is the purpose of Robert Reich saying these, spreading these economic falsehoods? He is a crony. He is a crony political insider, and so are his buddies. And they have one goal in life: to grow the size and scope of government. These are a bunch of collectivist people who think that if they have enough power, enough control, and take enough wealth out of the private sector, that they can create and order the world the way that they want it to be ordered. They think they know what's best for you. They think they know what's best for society. And if you just give them a little bit more power, a little bit more control. Since the 1970s, the government has grown massively. Medicare, Medicaid, that happened in the 70s. Government regulation exploding. Government agencies, the number of federal employees, all this stuff exploding. Are we better off? Do you feel freer? Do you feel like there's more economic opportunity? If you're a young person, do you go, thank God there's all this government involvement because now houses and education and healthcare are so much more affordable now that the government is playing such a larger role in these things? No, you don't feel that way at all. But these faux economists, these people, these grifters for the left are going to keep coming out and telling you these lies and these falsehoods, because instead of looking at them and the problems that they're creating by being involved in the economy in the first place, what they want you focused on is your fellow Americans who happen to be more successful and have more things than you. They want you to be jealous of them, so you'll vote them, these politicians, the power to vote away what they have in the hopes that you'll get some of it. That's what they're doing here. That's the whole purpose. That's what Robert Reich exists for. He doesn't have any other purpose. And I don't know what motivates him. I don't know if he understands the amount of damage he does by taking your autonomy, your ability to solve your own problems and externalizing that and demotivating you so that you stay in the place that you are. I don't know what he feels like he's personally gaining from it, or if he really is mentally so broken that he actually believes these lies, but you've got to break free from it. And I can help you. And all you have to do is subscribe to my channel. I'm going to go through this entire video, which has 10 myths. We haven't even gotten to the first one yet. Subscribe and turn on notifications so you can see me pop up and debunk this kind of nonsense. And if you think I'm wrong, please, by all means, drop a comment and tell me. Thank you very much for sticking around, and we'll see you next time.